Welcome to Potion Sword Run Live. I decided to start a podcast or a live show because there's so much stuff that I want to talk about, and I just can't make standalone videos for each subject because if I did, then I'll be spamming the hell out of my channel. And the thing is, I started to upload more gameplay videos and stuff about games instead of just news about games or opinions about games. So that's going to be taking up some of my uploads too. So I just don't want to spam, but I do want to talk about these subjects. So that's what I'm going to do on this podcast, Potion Sold Run Live. I can't even say my name. I'm sorry. PSR Live. And it'll be pretty much just like the other show, except I'll be doing it in this kind of format. I'm showing you some news clips and letting you know what I want to talk about. And in this episode, I want to start with PlayStation raising the prices for their console. As you can see, Sony PlayStation will be raising the price of their console starting tomorrow. They give you 1 day notice. Effective August 21st, you will be paying more for your console if you want to buy a PlayStation. Not the first time in history. I think this is the second time they raise the price, I believe. But this is like the first time where we're actually going backwards and the consoles are more expensive as they get older. I was actually thinking about selling my PlayStation, no lie. It just sits there. I don't want to manage so many libraries. So I already have my Xbox with full libraries. I have my Switch where I get my retro. I got my Ally Pocket where I can get, Game Boy and all that stuff that I'm playing right now. Just have so many options, and my PlayStation just sits there for most of the time. PlayStation 5 regular base model will be raised to $549. $549 for the base model. And the digital one without a disc reader, $499. Crazy, right? $499. Then the Pro, which isn't really that much of a Pro, $749. That's insane. $750 for a PlayStation Pro, which still has its problems within its own. And the thing is, starting tomorrow, they don't even give anybody a heads up. They just like spring it onto you. And what they're gonna do? Blaming tariffs? The thing is, these consoles are so old that these components should have already caught up to them. So they should be absorbing these tariffs. Everybody should. Nintendo, especially them, with their console being like last generation components inside, they can afford to eat the tariffs. But it's not really just tariffs. It's an excuse to raise all the damn prices of everything. So PlayStation is nuts. $549, $499, and $749. And they did that right now. They dropped the news right now because there's a bunch of games thing going on, GamesCon and everything or whatever. So there's a bunch of games news and they're hoping that it'll just kind of get swept under the rug or people will kind of pass it by and won't even notice. But this is crazy. Moving on from PlayStation because, it is what it is. They also showed off the ROG Xbox Ally X and the ROG Xbox Ally. And it is what it is. Now, the price, they didn't say what the price was going to be straight up. It's coming out October 16th. I mean, it looks cool. It plays games okay. But the thing is, we don't know if it's going to play all of the Xbox games. And that is definitely a deal breaker for me. If this thing doesn't play all my Xbox games and my Xbox right here can play, then there's really no point in getting it. I don't want a device that can play some of my Xbox games, only ones that are updated. No. And especially for the rumored price of $900 for the ROG Xbox Ally X, which is a stupid name. Stupid name. I understand ROG, they want to keep, their name because it's their machine, and Xbox makes sense, and X because it's X, but why Ally? Oh, I want to be your ally because they're friends? Like, what is this? Like, ugh, stupid name. ROG Xbox Ally X. Anyways, but I'm not sure what kind of games is gonna play. They showed a game compatibility reel, and it said over 1,000 of your Xbox games. They showed big titles like Gears of War, um, Hollow Knight, and games like that. But I don't know. They don't have a final list. They didn't say all Xbox games are gonna be playable, and for $900, it damn better be all my Xbox games. So right now, I'm gonna let the early adopters buy it and let them be test bunnies. And if they report back that this is the shit, then maybe I'll give it a go. But until then, I'm kind of just gonna wait and see mode for this. It's like $1,000 is a lot of money for a handheld console that doesn't play all my Xbox games. That might not play all my Xbox games. But it's just around the corner, about a month away. So I guess we'll find out soon. We'll see if this is worth all the hype. I don't know. At least it's ergonomic, people say. People who have been trying it out say that it does feel like an Xbox controller. So that's good. Because one of the main things that I've been hearing about the Nintendo Switch 2 and the Steam Deck is that they're very uncomfortable after a while when doing a handheld mode. Like, you have to rest your arms and stuff because it's just so big. It's not really ergonomic and it just hurts your hands. So if that's the case, then I don't know. I'll probably have to put a pause on that shit on the Nintendo Switch 2, or maybe get some grips, some better grips. I don't even know. But that's one of the things that I really like about it because of the ergonomics. But like I said, unless it plays all my Xbox games, there is no point in spending over $1,000 on this shit. And like the lower one, the ROG Xbox Ally, it's only like about $550. But it's like, dude, if you're gonna get it, might as well get the cream of the crop, right? I mean, there's no point going and getting the other one. So yeah. But then again, PlayStation's raising their prices to freaking, what was it again? $549. So, I mean, might as well get a handheld, right? I mean, you can get the cheap handheld and you can still play PlayStation games on there. I'm not sure how good it'll run compared to the more expensive one, but you can play some PlayStation games on there eventually through Steam. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna probably be a big. I don't think it's gonna sell that well. Man, who has $900 right now? $1,000 just to throw away, or just to put down and just to hope that it delivers. But this might be the all we need. Anyways, we'll see. I've been buying games recently. I've been buying Switch games recently. And I've been talking about game key cards because I don't want to buy games that don't have. If I'm going to buy physical games, which I usually do for my Switch, I don't want to have game key cards where I have to do digital / hybrids, blah, 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 blah. I just don't want to. But Square Enix has announced the recent releases for the Switch, and they are game key cards. So all of these RPGs, which I assume are going to have a shitload of data, you're going to have to transfer to your Switch. So it's going to fill up your SD cards pretty quick. So we have that to look forward to. Me, I'm like on my Nintendo Switch regular, I try to buy physical when I can, just because I like the physical when it came to Nintendo, especially the older titles. I do have a few digital games, but it's not really my jam on Nintendo. On my Xbox, I'm fully digital. I don't buy no physical discs. So I'm kind of like halfway, half in, but so I'm not sure if I'm ready to go fully digital, but I'm definitely not going to get the game key cards because there's really no point in those. I mean, the whole point of digital is the convenience where you don't have to put anything into your disc or your console in order to activate the gameplay. But with the game key cards, you have a digital download, which takes room on your freaking console, and you still have to put in the disc. So it's like, what's the point? And we know the data's not on the disc, so you're playing. It's like a piece of plastic for no shit on the wall. So I mean, anyways, it infuriates me. But knowing that Square Enix is gonna have you put these RPGs, JRPGs. I'm guessing they're gonna have the same gigabyte downloads that the ones on the next gen consoles have, and man, it's gonna take so much space. So either you're gonna be buying those game key cards, buy them digitally, and I guess you have no choice, right? So you're gonna have to take up space and buy a bigger SD card for your Nintendo Switch too. Shit. I mean, I guess that's the way it should be, guys. Just go digital. Put your games on an SD card and just hope that you don't lose your SD card and just hope that Nintendo don't shut down their servers like they did for the Wii U and the 3DS, where there's thousands and thousands of games that you can't freaking access anymore because the store's not up. So all those digital games, you're at the mercy of Nintendo to be releasing on their next gen systems, and they're going to be charging you a premium for those, like they do right now. And people out there, fanboys, gladly just gobble it up when they get Mario Paint and they get freaking Nintendo 64 titles on their Wii, on their freaking Switch. Come on, y'all. Oh, anyways, Nintendo. I do love the Switch, though. I do love the Switch. One of the games that is coming for the PlayStation 5, though, that I do want to talk about because I like this game. Not because it's coming out for the PlayStation 5, but I figure if any PlayStation 5 people out there watch this or watch my channel, I'm sure there's some out there. Stalker will be coming out for the PlayStation 5 soon. Stalker 2. It got all patched up, so it runs pretty good. I'm not sure if it takes advantage of the controller, but if it does, because there's a lot of anomalies and like mutants and type of weird shit in the zone. That's what they call the wasteland. And the anomalies like cause the Xbox controller to rumble and do different things. And like there's fire, electricity, like warps and like just different things. And so it would be awesome if you can feel that kind of haptic feedback on the controller. Now, if they did do that for Stalker 2, then that alone might be worth just exploring the whole wasteland. I mean, I love the zone. The zone. I love playing Stalker right now. I'm almost done with it. I played it when it first came out, and it was pretty buggy as hell. And then I came back to it just recently, and they patched it up pretty good. So I think I'm almost done with it. I'm kind of just exploring everything, having fun with the gameplay, and it's the gameplay that I like. It's the battles, the exploring, the gun battles. The guns are fun. Anyways, I wanted to show you some gameplay just because I like the game. Might as well, right? Right here in this part, I came into this. I don't know what it is. I think it was like a chemical plant or something. But I was pretty much being flanked by the enemy, and I just wanted to show that the enemy. I'm playing in rookie, and this is the easiest mode. There's rookie. There's stalker, and there's like veteran or something. I don't know what it is, but I'm playing like on the easiest mode. And even in the easy mode, the NPCs like they do flanking moves and maneuvers and throw grenades and stuff. Hey, what's up, Retro Bro? Good to see you here. Anybody else that's here, like I was saying in the beginning when I started the podcast, is I wanted to do a live show, just going through all the different stuff that I want to talk about instead of just spamming my channel with all these videos and stuff that I want to talk about. Because seriously, like so much stuff is just on the news right now. And what I wanted to do too is add more gameplay videos to my channel, which I have been doing from the Analog Pocket. And so I just want so much content on my channel. So I'm going to start doing a live show of some stuff that I want to talk about that didn't need a whole video. But anyways, I'm talking about Stalker and PlayStation 5, and I just wanted to show some gameplay. Like I said, I was being flanked, and I wanted to show how they flank you. And the thing I really like about this game, PlayStation fans out there, when it comes out, is seriously the gunplay. It's like if it feels raw and visceral, and you actually feel the weight of the guns. Like that was a Magnum type gun, and obviously it's kind of realistic. Where if they're too far away, it's not just automatically going to shoot them even if you line up. And I was lined up. You probably couldn't see it that well, but I was lined up and it missed. That's a rifle that I just found called a Gauss rifle. It's electricity based. You find it in the zone. And the thing is, the zone is like a dangerous place. There's stuff that you can step on that just instantly kill you. There's obviously mutants and stuff, and there's like anomalies that are just out there, and you got to find like different little stones that are made from the anomalies that give you these different special powers. It's just a lot of stuff to do in there too. Like here, I came up to a tornado that I didn't even know existed in the game. It's a huge anomaly. I guess you have to try to get into the middle of it, and there might be some anomaly type of power that you can receive from there. It's one of the main anomalies in the game. There's like, I think I've come across 3 so far, or 4. One is a huge bubble just floating. One is like a dome type bubble. I can't get to that. That's my next mission, but radiation is crazy. And then I've seen a fire tornado as well. And yeah, that's somebody that the tornado threw at me. So I mean, this game, even though it's dark and gritty, it also has its funny moments. Now, it doesn't chase you all the way. It stops within its perimeter. I thought it was chasing me, so I started taking off, but it didn't. It stopped within its perimeter. So that's pretty much it. I just want to talk about the PlayStation increasing their prices. I think that's pretty crazy right now, especially with how the economy is going. People aren't doing so well financially. At least normal people. But yeah, $549 for the base, $499 for the one with the digital only, and then $749 for the Pro. Square Enix is putting their games, all their RPGs, on game key cards, so expect to buy more SD cards for your Switch too. The ROG Ally X is going to be $900 for the main one, but it doesn't seem to be playing all of your Xbox games, which is a deal breaker for me, especially for that price. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll let other people try that out first. And Stalker is coming out for the PlayStation 5, so give that a try, PlayStation 5 players, because I want a Stalker 3. And I know they're going to need the money, and I don't want them to close, and I want them to have money to make the next one. So get it done, everybody. Get it done. Subsidize my Game Pass. I'm playing it on Game Pass, and I don't feel like buying it, so buy it for me. Not for me, but yeah. So one last thing before we go, and I wanted to show you a couple of polls that I took. So that is next. Oh my God, you couldn't hear me talking. My bad. My bad. Let me get back in there. Okay. Anyways, I'm doing the polls now. Yeah, sorry about that, Rexer show. I didn't have my audio up. Let me go. Let me go right back. So I was doing polls for the place for my channel 2 weeks ago, and I asked about game key cards because I've been talking about that recently, and I asked my audience if it was bothering them, but only 23 answered. I did it as a quiz, not as a poll, so maybe that didn't affected it. But anyways, I was saying 4% said yes, it does bother them. Are you buying game key cards for your Nintendo Switch 2? 4% said yes, it does bother them. Yes, it doesn't bother them. I'm sorry, I'm a little slow right now. They said yes, they're gonna buy them because it doesn't bother them. 4%. Another 4% said yes, but it does bother them. Understandable because you have no choice, right? And the other 70% said no, but it doesn't bother me. So they're not gonna buy them, but it doesn't really bother them. Okay, maybe someone like who buys digital on other consoles and stuff, and this doesn't want one on the Switch. Understandable, but no, it bothers me. Gets the most at 74%. So 74% of my viewers, 23 people only answered this one. Said they're not going to buy the game key cards, and I understand why. I already explained it in this video and many videos. It's because it's an inferior product to a physical product and inferior to a digital product. It just doesn't make sense. It's kind of like a little bone they throw to the people who love to collect digital, who like to collect physical. That's pretty much what it is. But let's see what the peeps said about this. The last line live said, "How does this poll have a correct answer?" No, it doesn't bother me for my answer, but I would potentially make an exception for a game that is true Switch 2 exclusive title and only has that or digital download as an option. So he'd rather get the game key card than just the digital option by itself. And like I said, for collectors, I understand, but it shouldn't be that way because it's an inferior product. You know what I mean? But yeah, Michael Jet, good to see you, man. Yeah, the PlayStation is having a new increase. Crazy. And like I've talked about this before, when Xbox and Switch did it, it's like, come on, man, we're going backwards in time. We're living in bizarro time. They should be able at this time, because the system has been out for so long, to eat the tariffs because the systems haven't dropped in price since the components have been going down in price. So screw them, man. It's pretty much just corporate greed at this point. And they're using that excuse because they're also all making record profits. I would understand if Sony was, not making any money and, they're about to go bankrupt and they're struggling but no, that's not the case. So screw them, man. And the thing is, I was thinking about selling my PlayStation 5 because I don't use it. It just sits here. But now I'm thinking I'll probably just keep it a little bit longer. It might just increase in price. It's like gold. You know, even if Trump isn't to blame, um, Rexer, even if he's not to blame, he is to blame because he's the one that did this whole even if tariffs ain't to blame, I'm saying. It's his fault because he's the one that created this hostile environment in our economy. He made them have an excuse to do it at a time when there's no reason to do it. So even if people don't want to blame him directly, it's his damn fault for initiating this whole chain of events to begin with. Even though the corporations are the ones taking advantage, you know what I mean? He's just giving them the opportunity to do it because of his stupid economic policies. And I'm gonna say it: if President Obama or who was the last guy, Biden, did the same or is doing the same or is president now, then they'll be equally to blame. So don't take this as someone who just hates right-wing people or conservatives. My best friend was a conservative. I'm just joking. I don't have any best friends. Devin Swall said no, and it bothers me. And the blah blah said what? And I also asked, who are the most brainwashed fanboys? And this was a poll. 80 people voted. 48% says Nintendo fanboys are the worst fanboys. 26% said Xbox fanboys, and 26% said PlayStation fanboys. Now, me being an Xbox guy, yes, sir. Me being an Xbox guy, I would have expected that either Xbox fanboys would have gotten more as a troll to this poll. You know, people who just like to, hate watch or just like talk shit. And I got a lot of people like that on this channel. I love you guys. And or I thought, obviously the PlayStation fanboys who get the worst because sometimes like to shit on the PlayStation for the lack of games, and the PlayStation fanboys who are act crazy sometimes. And Xbox guys are just awesome, right? They're the best in the world, like the coolest gamers ever. They have like personality and style and grace, demure. They love cats. I mean, come on. So why hate them? But recently, since I've been making Nintendo content, especially since the Switch 2 has been, a disappointment in my eyes. I know the Rexer show and a lot of other people out there love them. It's cool. Good for you guys. I've been noticing how crazy the Nintendo fanboys are, and how you can't talk shit or nothing when it comes to their console or their games, because they take it personal, like if I'm attacking them and their childhood and the way they were raised. When it comes to PlayStation guys, they just, they talk shit about the Xbox games and how they suck and nobody wants to play them and how they fail. When it comes to like Nintendo guys, they start talking about you personally and how you're wrong and you always have bad takes and how they don't like you anymore. But anyways, I love Nintendo fanboys. They are a special bunch. Music Master says Amico fanboys are the worst. Amico fanboys are actually quite lovely for the most part. We've had quite a few of them that have turned to the light side. They have turned out to be lovely people. The retro bro making video games himself. Look at that guy, so talented. Come on now. We have the Atari creep over here making misfit toys. Follow him on TikTok. We have Mike Mullis, who moved and took over Rumble. I mean, come on, man. Him and Panda Sub together, just taking over that platform. Sheesh. I don't know what happened with Geeks with Cash, but we have DJ C still holding it down. Come on, man. Those guys are swell fellas in my eyes. Saggy melons showing out her melons for the world to see. Come on, man. How's that not cool? Music Master, get with it, brother. Beefy Bite says all fanboys. They are fanboys for a reason, and they assume anyone not the hater trained like them is a fanboy of other things. It's a vicious fanboy cycle. Beefy Bites. Every time I talk about Nintendo, mostly every time I talk about Nintendo, who's in those comments defending their honor, Beefy Bites? But yes, I agree, all fanboys. Mike the Town says it's close. I really like the Xbox 360 during the gen. Still play with me Xbox One 9 times out of 10. More than PlayStation 4. A mix of being fine. The company has thrown a chunk of industry, a few months long. Blah, blah, blah. Halo. Dash of Gears. You don't even answer the question, brother. is throwing on is going on with 50-50 chance. Linux fanboys, okay, Linux. Uh, Xbox gamer said depends. Dreamcast guy, I watched him wrong hilarious times. Dreamcast guy, man, he's having a ball right now. He's having a ball because the PlayStation it raises prices. He's like having a spiral. That guy's been on one. He didn't like the games coming out of Gamescom, and there's so many games that didn't even show in the Keeley show. Um, that I thought were pretty good, and still I'm still kind of indie games mostly that are pretty good. The AAA thing kind of seems like, so maybe that's where he's upset. I didn't want to watch his video on that. It just seemed like a bummer video, and I was in the mood. I'll watch it later on, but he didn't seem so happy about the PlayStation for sure. I did watch that one because obviously I want to see him squirm, and he did. I like that he actually holds PlayStation to account, and he shows their financials, and says that it doesn't make sense. So at least give him that, for being a fanboy. Delusional Grandeur says PlayStation fanboys. Toe Jam and Deer, Atari fanboys. King Dark. As long as time PlayStation player, I can pick between PlayStation and Nintendo. Okay. Beefy Bite says Sega fanboys are the worst. Still waiting for their mothership to bring them the Dreamcast 2. And I responded, but the Dreamcast 2 is coming out. It has been confirmed by our overlord Zork during the 859th Intergalactic Senate referendum. ... Zork is all about that corporate greed. So long as it brings me a new Sega console, I'm all for that. Speaking of Sega consoles, I was watching Mad Max. I've been on his channel collaborating recently. So if you want to watch me on Mad Max, or me on other places, you can find me there sometimes. But he recently bought a Sega Saturn. And then I thought, why shouldn't I buy a Sega Saturn for myself? Because my Sega Saturn was stolen from me back when I was a little kid, when I was like 14. And I had a game, I don't remember the name, I had to Google it, but I think it was Dragon Force. It wasn't Shining Force, I think it was Dragon Force. And I got hooked on that, and I would play it every day after school until they stole it from me. And I never rebought it because at that time, the console was already dying. And there was no point in buying it because, the PlayStation 2 and everything else was all coming out and stuff, or was out, popular. So I couldn't go back. But now that I had been going back, I'm probably going to go find myself a Sega Saturn and find that game and relive my glory days and hope that someone doesn't break in and steal it again. Oh man. See, if I would have put that one in there, yeah, that one probably should have been in there. I've been watching a lot of your channel recently and Mike B's channel just to get a even perspective on the arcade scene. Not to just be getting my news or my entertainment. Mike B's not entertaining. Just not to get all my if you're gonna be talking about a subject, I know you like to clown on Arcade 1UP and them sometimes, so I want to make sure that I get it from them too, just in case you leave something out or vice versa, just to get a full perspective of what everyone's saying. And I don't really watch too many other people unless something pops up from somebody, because a lot of that shit is rinse and repeat boring crap. And yes, there is a lot of fanboys in the freaking chats and shit. And I don't quite understand it when it comes to the Arcade 1UP type cabinets. Not at all. I recently went to California Extreme They have actual cabinets from people from around the world bring their cabinets. They have not only arcade cabinets, retro ones. They have some new ones, but it's mostly like the retro arcade cabinets. They also had pinball cabinets, retro and modern ones, and these are like $10,000 machines and shit. And you can tell the quality in those when you like be next to a one up arcade. There's like, come on, no freaking difference, man. It's like the whole like you guys got to understand these arcade one ups things and all those like kind of rip offs of that company are toys, like toys, like crap toys at best. um Especially when you stand next to like a full size next gen pinball machine or next gen freaking actual arcade, or even like a classic arcade on they're built, like the quality, there's no comparison, man. So and the way that they slobber over these, and not only just those, but even like the smaller size ones too. I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I love arcades. I love arcades. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. Just wanted to touch on those few subjects and run through my polls. Um, I'll be doing these occasionally whenever I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about that's been stacking up or that is stacked up, and I don't want to keep on making videos to make my channel just crowded. Stay tuned for more of those Analog Pocket videos because I will be buying a lot of Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games that I missed. And yeah, we'll be making more of those. Anyways, I'm going to leave it right there. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember, always be kind to yourself and enjoy your life. And I'll meet you right there.